Good afternoon, everyone. And I just want to thank NCPC for the opportunity to come up here and share a little bit of what we're doing and how industrial symbiosis has affected our company. We're a little guy, family-owned business. I don't have any fancy abbreviations for our name. That's just Combo Timber Structures. My father came up with that name. That's us. You've got an old man and his son who works for him, and then his son who worked for him. And no pressure on my little son. He can dream all he wants and be what he wants. So we're a family business, and so that was mentioned this morning, how it is sometimes you be all the EEOs and all those people, and sometimes an acting forklift driver and an acting bucky boy as well, and whatever needs to be. We are basically pallet manufacturers, but we have been since my father's generation. Before that, we've always been in sawmilling. And we've got a sawmill in Albertina, which we have mothballed 2 years ago. We manufacture pallets. There's a sawmill. What we've found is that it was just becoming less and less sustainable as a SME to carry on logging and bringing timber 380 k's in Southern Cape. They still do practice sustainable forestry, but there's less and less of environment for timber to grow. So we've noticed that as things were going, it was less sustainable for us to continue. And then we noticed there's people who are working for us now. It's more of who we are. We employ 30 people now. As of now, we no longer produce new pallets anymore. The process has gone over the last 5 years. We've been looking at this, which was what we found. We found that we produce timber. Truck it all the way down was about 400 and 500 kilometer process between the forests in Knysna, George, processing it in Albertina, bringing it down to Cape Town. It just didn't make sense when I saw this. And we saw more of it. And more of it. And today we employ those 30 people, which is more than we've ever employed on our premises in Cape Town. And we are now, as of the last 12 months, we've been 100% recycled. And all of this has been realized through industrial symbiosis and symbiotic relationships as us as SME with large companies in Cape Town, and working primarily with waste management companies as well. We do find, though, that the culture is still shifting in our economy as well. There's many companies that have different business models when it comes to waste management. Some of them are do transport to the landfill. Some of them are more committed to being ethical. And this is something that we've become more and more passionate about. We've climbed into many bins like that and pulled pallets out of them. Some of the sites that we've been on have had 30 cube skips that were being removed once every two days or so and being taken to landfill. Now they either bring it to us, or else if they lose pallets like that, we collect them free of charge. So they save on the transport costs, they save on the landfill cost, and we get free material except for our labor and travel expenses that we're putting in. We've reduced our raw material cost by about 60%. Okay, but at the same time, we've increased our labor cost. Our labor cost has jumped up by maybe about 40% or so. So what I'm realizing more and more in terms of the vision of the country, in terms of creating jobs, there's really landfills, to me, these are all pallets that we find in bins and that sort of thing. This is what we do. We stack them up and then we put them, sort them out and see what we can use. We've even had bins like that. Many companies that repair pallets then have broken elements. Some of those elements can be resized and remanufactured into other pallets. This was an example of World Economic Forum. They had sets in a conference like this at the CTICC in Cape Town, and they broke them down, and we were able to recycle all of that, and turned into 3 jobs on a temporary basis, which then grew up from there. I mean, as we've been growing incrementally, we actually, every time we have a temporary job, it becomes permanent, it seems. There's just so much opportunity through what would be normally seen as people's waste. It's something that is just so profound to me, and I've become so passionate about it. Many companies, I think, in our environment are saying, well, because of legislation and so many things, and especially SMEs and family businesses maybe steer away from becoming employers of more and more people. But as I've said in previous places, it's a conviction of ours now. I think we have created jobs. We have reduced cost to our company. There is something sustainable. In fact, it's more sustainable for us just through waste. Much of this timber that we get is all imported from overseas. So, in fact, things are shipped in to our country because maybe we are a net importer, but all the packaging material potentially could go to landfill, but we're actually turning it into something which is an opportunity for so many different families and people to be employed. We sort it. We've developed specialized machinery, which we've built. We have a night shift to break down as well, dismantle, and then we remanufacture pallets, sort them, stack them. It's a new niche that we found. And my encouragement really is that we need to think out of the box. We're a family that was stuck in our way for generations, that we've always been sawmilling, and the writing's been on the wall. But we actually only realized the opportunity now because we were forced to. But the opportunity was always there. And I think for many companies, we don't realize the opportunity that lies in waste because it's called waste. But we actually bury potential in landfill sites every day. This year alone, our company has diverted, and I know this is going to mess with the WISP figures, but portion of that is included in the WISP figures. We've diverted over 500 tons from landfill, the 2-man landfill sites in Cape Town. And then, there's more on top of that. There is just so much potential, and I know that we're just a small little drop in the ocean in terms of what we're doing now. We've even gotten to the point where we're making pallets out of MDF boards as well. We have companies that make all sorts of kitchen things and that out of MDF. It's used in furniture. The offcuts go into a bin, get sent to landfill. We've decided now, okay, we're committed, we'll take a piece shorter than 600 by 50 mils, and we'll make them into planks, basically. I've got customers who sheet paper, and they need a nice flat surface. And the best flat surface I can get is made out of MDF. And so that MDF now we're able to divert from landfill as well. And we make pallets that are close boarded, all the same thickness, the right way through, and customers are very happy with that. These are all examples of pallets that we have made, and maybe if you've seen pallets you might think it's new, but those are made completely out of recycled material. Okay. Sometimes we paint them up to cover the markings and that sort of thing, just so that people don't get confused and think that it's certified by some international company because we remanufactured it. Some of our customers as well, we have some wood that I can't believe that we would make pallets out of, even though it's recycled secondhand. Some people buy wood from us, they make couches. It's the next thing. Jungle gyms out of crates and that sort of thing. This lady made Oregon pine table out of timber that we have gotten from United States in the form of pallets and crates. The thing about sawmilling is if people are sawmilling timber, you always grade your timber. So the timber is then graded into first grade, whatever, and crating grade is the last grade. So you may be sawmilling Oregon pine. But when you send that crate, I mean, we're getting Oregon pine crates and pallets, and oak and ash and teak and all sorts of things like that in Cape Town, which we then sell on, and people are making really nice things out of that. Christmas tree that was made. The last piece that we can't make, we can't use, we sell on to a guy. We basically sort it, and he pays for our sorting, which is about 100 Rand a bucky load, and he makes fire starters to the point that his little business has grown, and he supplies fire starters all over Cape Town. He's been able to resign from his job, and he now employs 3 people as well, just chopping up fire starters. Something that I need to realize, and we in our country have got a unique situation. We've got high unemployment, we've got so much waste. In Europe and many other places, they would send that straight to incinerate and utilize it one shot. Well, we're looking at the next thing is biomass fuel for us. But before we even get to that point, there's so much potential that can be realized in the waste and processing that. I want to challenge every company here and every person represented that this is a future of job growth. It's the easiest place. The raw materials are the cheapest, often free. In fact, sometimes people will pay you to take them off their hands. And as far as government goes, there's so much potential that lies in what we really call waste. So that's why we as a company have become so committed to industrial symbiosis. Just want to thank you again for this opportunity.